Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Defiant Jeep. Today we're going to try and figure out a noise problem. In fact, let me recant that. We've already figured out the noise problem. I went ahead and I had a Jeep trip not too long ago where we went to Mount Potosi. There was a shot of my Jeep going down a very rough road. And if you can see right here, the Jeep is jouncing around a little bit. And I don't know if you can hear it, but it is making a loud clacking sound. This clacking sound started to bother me. I, like you and many others, am the captain of my own ship. So, I know every weld. I know every bolt. I need to know what is that noise, what is causing that issue. And when I took off the fender and the fender liner of the driver's side, I found out that my shocks, they kept on jouncing up and down. Well, the problem was that the bushings were destroyed. In fact, they're even gone. I know that I am a little bit reckless when it comes to some off-roading stuff, but I must have beat them shocks pretty good for them to not only destroy the bushings and squeeze them out, but they totally spit them. They're gone. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace the top bushings of the shocks with this right here. It is a polyurethane bushing versus the factory rubber ones that were used. So how this works, it is a two-piece. You do have a top and a bottom. This part right here is going to act like a dowel. Now, I understand that it's black. You can hardly see it, but the diameter of this is pretty big. I'm going to say that's probably about 1 inch in diameter. So it is pretty huge. Yeah, I'm going to say about 1 inch in diameter. So this is actually going to fit in that hole where it would meet the other end. Normal bushings, they're like round discs and have like a small little, I guess like a negative recess where something to sit in that hole. This right here is going to go all the way through the hole, and then this top bushing is going to fit right on top of it, and it's going to sandwich that metal part, that bracket that actually holds this in place. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go ahead and take off the passenger fender, the inner fender liner. We're going to steer the wheel a little bit to give us more clearance, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go ahead and remove the shock. We're going to replace the bushings on that one that's either destroyed or gone, and we're going to put these in this place. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it. Alrighty, at this time we're back. I'm sorry for the little intermission there. You know how it is when mama calls you to dinner, you gotta go. And when I say mama, I mean my wife Patty. I don't tell her no because she'll just get mad and it's not worth ruining my dinner. So now we're back, let's go ahead and get finished. Now, as I got back, I went ahead and I turned the steering wheel to the left so we could have more access to the shock absorber. Now, but before we move forward, let me show you how this actually looks, you know, before we change it out. If I can put this down without making a mess over here. All right, and I hope that's a good shot for y'all. Now, you can see the shock absorber is exposed since I went ahead and I took off the inner fender well liner. And now we have access to the lower bolt and the top nut. Let me put on my gloves here, and then we're gonna take a little closer look. Let's see how this works out for me. Now, we went ahead and took a look at the bottom bushings. The bottom bushings are fine. We're not even gonna mess with those. So, in that case, we're just going to loosen the bolt, actually remove it to get the shock out. But before we do so, I am going to, ooh, this is pretty bad. You can see, here's the bushing. There's the bushing. It's destroyed. I mean, it looks like it's gutted. It shouldn't even be this big. So, yeah, they weren't that party. Blew it right out the door. So we're gonna go ahead and grab a couple tools and we're gonna remove this nut right here. Hopefully I got the right size. Yeah, hopefully. And here's the nut. Okay, here's the washer. It's concaved, it's supposed to be flat, but that's okay. When I took it off, it was concave pushed down. So when we put it back together, I'm gonna put that with the cone up. This should give us a little bit more leverage. At the same time with the tension, hopefully it'll flatten it down a little bit, which is our intent at this time. And if it doesn't, it's still okay. At the end of the day, it's still gonna work. Like I said, I did it earlier on the other side. So we're gonna go ahead and continue the same process and do it here. That's a good, doesn't even magnetize. All right, so let's go ahead and get that bottom bolt off. Since we're already here, we got our impact wrench. Cool. Got some good stuff going on here. Let's get our big wrench. And I'm using 18mm on both sides, the nut and the bolt. If I can get my big self in there, that'd be awesome. And there it goes. All right. Oh. Here's my socket. Here's my nut. Now, because there's a lot of tension on the shock because of the it's either gas or nitrogen pressure, it's very hard to get the bolt off. So I'm going to use this screwdriver. And what I'm going to do is, let me tilt this a little bit. I am going to put the screwdriver right down here. I'm going to try and release some of that pressure so I can slide out the bolt without trying to use a hammer or anything unnecessary. Let me go ahead and give that a try. Well, that worked out better in my head. It didn't work. Let me go get a hammer. All right, we're just gonna give this a couple whacks and we'll slide it right out. All right. Where's that big screw stick? Whatever I did with it. It's over here somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's still stuck on there. So, let me see if I can wiggle it out now. All right. And there it is. My bolt and my shock. So now you can see that this shock actually has a built-in washer. It's not damaged in any way. No, not really. So very fine of a flex on it, but it's nothing that we can't take up the space. So we are going to reuse the top washer, the top nut, which is going to go ahead and add our bushings. Okay, let's put that down. We're going to separate the two, top and bottom. We're going to use the bottom part first. So now you can see with the bushing on there, it's going to go right through that large pilot hole. And as I said, this, I hate to sound kind of rude, but we're going to call it a nipple. This nipple part is going to go right through the hole and it's going to act as a dowel so that the actual center shaft is going to be well centered in that hole. And we're going to sandwich the bracket on this bushing like so, and then we're going to tighten it up. So we should be almost done. I'm going to go ahead and slide this up and get it all prepared. And then I'm going to totally fasten the bottom and then finish the top. At this point right here, we got the top started. We got the top and bottom bushings. We're sandwiching the bracket and we got the nut hole to get in place.
which is good for right now. So from this point, we're gonna go ahead and put some tension on the shock to collapse it a little bit so we can get it into the lower bracket. Then we're gonna put the bottom bolt on there. And it's late in the day, I'm super tired, and I'm not as young as I used to be. So I'm gonna use a floor jack to help me to add some tension on the shock to collapse it a little bit. I just happen to have it ready. Okay, let me apologize about that. That is like the worst method I could have come up with, but I am just so exhausted. But at the end of the day, it's in there. I just need to line up the bolt hole with a bracket hole for the shock, and we can fasten down the bottom. Alrighty. Oh my God, I am so sorry for the bad lighting here. I couldn't find me a flashlight, but I still worked it. I finally got the bottom one in there. Now, all I need to do is just tie it down with the nut. Here is the nut. That'll bring itself in. I need my driver. Where's the socket? Here. And where's my big wrench? 18mm, where are you? I know I got it here somewhere. This is probably you. Did I say 18 on it? Nope, that's my 15. Where's my, here it is. And that's it. All right, let's go ahead and tighten this guy up. All right, so that's done and done. Let's just double check. Oh, it's got a great feel on it, awesome. Okay, those are good. Okay, so from this point forward, we just need to grab our 14 or 15mm wrench and tighten up the top, and we're about done. But you know what? This impact wrench, it's got a flashlight on it, so let's try and be creative about it and use that. So let's go ahead and give it some hand winding so we don't waste a lot of time wrenching on nothing. Hopefully it's the 14mm that works. All right, keep on going. And what I'm doing is I'm feeling the bushings, and they are starting to bulge out a little bit. So that should be it. Let's take a look at it while we're here. Yeah, they're bulging out a little bit. We can give it a couple more turns while we're in here. That should be good. And we're good to go. Yeah, we are all done. The only thing that's left to do is put the inner fender wheel back on, put the fender back on, and we're gonna call it a day. And that's nothing but the reverse process of what we did when we took it off. My God, I'm old. I am so out of breath. But that's it. Hey, thank you for joining. I hope you found this this video a little educational and hopefully entertaining. My method today was very unconventional since I'm limited to hand tools and darkness in my driveway. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And click the little bell for other notifications. And we'll be seeing you soon. Thank you very much and have a great evening.